Well, g'day and welcome to another edition of Chewing the Fat. Bevo here with you. Got a big game of soccer tonight at Cooper Stadium with Adelaide United in 4th, up against Brisbane Roar in 6th. The Roar coming off their first win this year against Melbourne City last week, 2-0. Adelaide a 3-1 result last week over there in Wellington, so both teams in pretty good form. How do you see this one going tonight? Adam Peacock from Fox Sports.
Yeah, good to be here. I actually don't know how it's going to go because it's an even contest. The Aloisis return to Adelaide, which is always fun, given their history as Brisbane coaches here. I talk of the Aloisis, it's John and his assistant coach brother Ross, but I just favour Brisbane, but Adelaide United have been so impressive. But the one thing they haven't done this season is win at home in the league. They've had 3 cracks at it and not come up with anything, 2 draws and a loss. So yeah, I reckon Brisbane can cause a few problems.
Yeah, it should be a good game. Who are the players to watch in tonight's game? Of course, Ildo scored a couple last week for the Reds. Yeah, who are the other players in both teams to watch?
Every time Craig Goodwin plays at the moment, he's a guy to watch, definitely. Isais, their midfielder. As for Brisbane, Adam Peacock, he scored those 2 goals last week against Melbourne City, so he's the guy to watch. And a few people talking about the fact that he might be a chance of making the Asian Cup squad, given that he's a striker in form and we need guys who can score goals.
Well, you mentioned Adam Peacock and his former team, Perth Glory, are flying at the moment. Could we see them winning the A-League in the 2018-19 season? Too early to say at this stage.
No, they're a possibility. They've got 13 points from a possible 15. They got off to a fantastic start. So their squad depth, we're not really sure at the moment because everyone's stayed fit. So you don't really know how a team's going to go until about halfway through and see if they've had a few injuries. If Chris Economides, for instance, who's probably their best player at the moment, if he goes to the Asian Cup, they'll miss him for 6 games. But they got off to a damn good start. They're the best in the competition at the moment, for sure.
Now, you touched on the Asian Cup, of course. No Timmy Cahill now, and Graham Arnold's taken over as the coach. How do you see this one going? The Socceroos looking to get 2 in a row of the Asian Cup?
Yeah, Asian Cups are difficult because they're so even when it gets to the pointy end. So Australia handled it really well in 2015 under Ange Postecoglou, winning a semi-final against UAE and then winning a dramatic final against Korea. There's nothing between, I think, the top 4 sides in Iran, Australia, Korea and Japan. Who can upset that? Maybe Saudi Arabia, UAE, who are hosting it. They lost their best player to an ACL injury, so I think that does discount them. I'd be surprised if UAE actually won the whole thing. Iraq won it famously in 2007 off the back of being a war-torn country and no one expected it. Could Syria do the same? We're not sure. They've got the players perhaps to cause a few problems, but I think it's between those top 4. And then when they get to the semi-finals, it's flip of the coin stuff. So you can't guarantee anything when you get to that stage.
Certainly, and something that's been very controversial this year, Adam, has been the VAR. What's your thoughts on it, or is it too hard to say at this stage?
No, I'm quite happy that they've actually listened and they've changed the parameters around it because it was becoming an absolute farce. But they have changed their mind on how they adjudicate decisions with the aid of the video. So now it's the referee, a lot more onus on the referee's decision, and it has to be seriously wrong for the VAR to get involved in any meaningful way, and that's the way it was set up, and hopefully that's the way it continues to be used.
Certainly a good point there. Now, we've got some pretty grumpy coaches in the A-League. Graham Arnold and Kevin Musgrave are a couple that come to mind. They never short of a bit of controversy. What's it like actually interviewing these guys and maybe some other coaches that you've had that, quite controversial, I guess?
Yeah, you just got to be ready with your question. I mean, you can't dance around a subject. If you want to know something, just come out straight and say it, and you'll get a straight, honest answer. They might not like it too much, the question being asked, but you just have to be straight up and down with them and not be intimidated by them. They're human like us, but they're obviously it's very hard for them to do an interview moments after their team has either won or lost a dramatic game. That I've never been in that position, never want to be in that position, because I could only imagine the adrenaline or the pressure or the things going through their heads. It's not an easy thing to do, but what they do. So in saying that, you can't dance around it. You've got to ask the questions that the fan wants to know.
Yeah, good point. And finally, we've got some absolute stars in the A-League. It keeps getting stronger and stronger every year. Who's probably the most or the best international player in the league at the moment?
Keisuke Honda for Melbourne Victory. Superb player. And he doesn't jump out at you. He doesn't score the spectacular like Del Piero did when he came here. He's not the magnet for the newspapers like Dwight York. But he's such a good player, such a good footballer. And if you love your football, you love watching guys like that play.
Well, Adam, it's been an absolute pleasure having you on Chewing the Fat, mate. Of course, Adam Peacock from Fox Sports, you can see him doing his great stuff tonight and all over the weekend, the rest of the year with the A-League. Mate, thanks so much again for coming on.
Cheers, Bevo.
Take care and bye for now, and see you next time.